Have you ever just felt off? You've got these nagging symptoms you can't quite put your finger on, but they're definitely keeping you from feeling 100%. Well, today we are going to dive deep into the really surprising and honestly powerful role our gut might be playing in everything from how tired we feel to our actual mood. This really starts with a story that I think so many people can relate to. It's from a journalist, a mom of four, who said for years she just told herself that feeling this way, it was just part of being a busy mom. She got tested for all sorts of things, anemia, Lyme disease, you name it. And the tests, they always came back negative. Does that story ring a bell? That feeling of just being tired all the time, or having aches and pains, or digestive stuff that you've kind of just learned to live with? If it does, I promise you, you are not alone. And this is a huge, huge issue. We're talking nearly 70 million Americans affected by digestive diseases. But here's the kicker. The real clues that something's off with our gut, they often pop up in the most unexpected places. Okay, so let's play detective for a minute. Let's think of these really common symptoms as clues. Little signals your body is sending you that your gut might be in some serious trouble. All right, the first clue is probably the one you'd expect, an upset stomach. That constant discomfort, the gas, the bloating, constipation, all of that is a pretty clear sign that your gut is struggling to do its job of processing food and getting rid of waste. Now, for one that might surprise you a little bit, skin issues. It turns out that things like acne, eczema, even rosacea can be directly connected to what's happening deep inside your gut. It's a classic case of an internal problem showing up on the outside. Do you ever have those days where your brain just feels like it's in a thick fog? You can't focus, maybe your memory feels a little fuzzy? Well, it's not always just about stress or a bad night's sleep. That feeling can actually start right in your gut. And here is the whole list. Just take a second and look at the sheer range of these things. Of course, you've got the obvious stuff like bloating, but then there are things you would probably never connect to your gut, like insomnia, craving sugar, joint pain, and even mood swings like anxiety and depression. The big takeaway here is that a problem in your gut can literally ripple out and affect almost every single system in your body. So, what in the world is the root cause of all these different symptoms? Well, a lot of the time, the trail leads back to one prime suspect, a condition that people call leaky gut. Let's break down what that actually is. Okay, in the simplest terms, leaky gut is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. Imagine the lining of your small intestine is like a super tight security fence. Well, when it gets damaged, tiny gaps open up, and those gaps let stuff like undigested food, toxins, and bacteria leak out of your gut and into your bloodstream, where they absolutely do not belong. Now, leaky gut is the term you'll hear all the time, but if you're talking to a doctor or reading a scientific paper, they're going to call it intestinal permeability. It's the same exact thing, a security fence with holes in it. And this whole process sets off a massive chain reaction. It's like a domino effect. First, as you see here, the gut lining gets damaged, maybe from certain foods, stress, or medications. Second, those unwelcome particles leak into the bloodstream. And third, your immune system spots these intruders and goes on high alert, launching a huge inflammatory attack that can cause problems all over your body, from your joints to your skin to your brain. So the key here is that leaky gut is not just a tummy ache, it's a full body issue. And that brings us to what is, for me, one of the most fascinating parts of this whole story: the direct and incredibly powerful connection between our gut and our brain. We're not talking about a vague feeling. This is a physical and chemical superhighway. Now, I know this diagram looks a little complicated, but it's a great way to visualize that connection. It shows how everything from your early life to daily stress to your own biology are all tangled up together. See those arrows going back and forth between the psychosocial factors and physiology? That's it. That's the gut-brain axis in action. It's a constant conversation between your mind and your body. And stress plays a massive role in all this. When you are constantly stressed out, your body's main alarm system, it's called the HPA axis, is just stuck in the on position. And that directly fuels inflammation and can make that gut lining even more permeable, even more leaky. So the most important thing to get here is that this is a two-way street. It's not just one-way traffic. Your brain sends stress signals down to your gut, and then your gut sends immune signals and inflammatory messages right back up to your brain. And that can lead to things like anxiety, depression, and that brain fog we talked about. They are constantly talking to each other. Okay, if you remember just one thing from all of this, let it be this fact right here, because it's a real mind blower. A staggering 90% of your body's serotonin, that's the feel-good chemical that regulates your mood and your sleep, is made in your gut. Not your brain, your gut. And that right there is why an unhealthy gut can have such a deep, profound impact on your mental health. All right, so we've looked at the clues, we've gone through the science, now let's get to the most important part. What can we actually do about it? Let's talk about a clear, actionable plan to start healing your gut. You know, healing really begins with nutrition. So first up, we have probiotics from foods like yogurt and kimchi. These guys help bring back the good, healthy bacteria. Next, healthy fats. Think fish, avocados. These are your inflammation fighters. And finally, an amino acid called L-glutamine has been shown to actually help repair and rejuvenate the lining of the gut wall itself. And this right here is a fantastic action plan because it shows you that this is a holistic approach. It's not just about one thing. It starts with removing common triggers like gluten and processed sugar and limiting stuff like alcohol. But just as critical are the lifestyle changes, bringing your stress levels down, making sure you get enough sleep, drinking plenty of water, and even simple things like just eating slowly. It's all about creating a healing environment for your entire body. So what's the bottom line in all of this? Gut health is not just about digestion. It's about your immune system, your mental health, your energy levels, even what your skin looks like. Taking care of your gut is truly foundational to your overall health and well-being. So the final question is a pretty simple one. Your body is constantly sending you signals. From the bloating and the brain fog to the fatigue and the anxiety, your gut is talking. The real question is, are you ready to start listening?